There are nights in football that vanish into history quietly, and then there are nights that become unforgettable legends, etched into the hearts of millions, retold for generations, and replayed endlessly on screens long after the stadium lights fade. For Spanish football fans, there was one such night. A night when Cristiano Ronaldo, the man they had booed, doubted, provoked, and sometimes even hated, produced a performance so extraordinary that even his harshest critics in Spain had no choice but to stand and applaud. It wasn't just a great match, it was the kind of night that rewrites narratives, reshapes rivalries, and reminds the world why Cristiano Ronaldo is often spoken of as one of the greatest players to ever touch a football. The story begins long before kickoff. For years, Spanish fans had seen Ronaldo as the enemy, an unstoppable machine wearing the white of Real Madrid, striking fear into every city he visited. Whether it was Barcelona, Valencia, Sevilla, or Bilbao, stadiums would drown in whistles each time he touched the ball. He was brilliant, but he was also the villain, the player who punished their clubs again and again. So when Spain found themselves facing Portugal on a night that demanded absolute victory, fans across the country were confident. They believed they understood Ronaldo. They believed they knew how to handle him. After all, many of Spain's defenders saw him twice every season. They thought they had the formula to stop him. But what they didn't know was that Ronaldo had arrived for this match with a different fire burning inside him. This wasn't club football. This wasn't another El Clasico. This was a stage that allowed him to face an entire nation, its players, its fans, and its doubts, all at once. And on this night, he was determined to give a performance that even Spain would never forget. From the moment the whistle blew, Ronaldo's presence was electric. Every touch he took had purpose, every sprint carried danger. Spain's defenders, usually calm on the ball and comfortable under pressure, suddenly found themselves second-guessing every move. Gerard Piqué took a step back instead of forward. Sergio Ramos, usually fearless against anyone, including Ronaldo, felt a rare sense of hesitation. When Ronaldo is in this kind of mood, even the best defenders in the world feel the weight of his energy. It didn't take long for the first spark. A loose pass from Spain's midfield turned into a counterattack. Ronaldo controlled the ball with a single touch that killed its momentum completely, like a magician pausing time. He drove forward, shoulders low, legs pumping with that signature explosiveness. 3 Spanish defenders surrounded him, believing they had him trapped. But Ronaldo shifted the ball to his left, cut inside, and unleashed a shot so powerful that even David De Gea, one of the world's best shot stoppers, could do nothing but watch the net bulge. The stadium gasped. Even Spanish fans clasped their hands over their mouths. They had seen Ronaldo score many goals in La Liga, but there was something different about this one. It wasn't the shot, it was the intent. It was the look in his eyes after the ball crossed the line. He wasn't celebrating a goal. He was sending a message. Spain, stung by the early blow, tried to respond quickly. Their midfield, filled with names like Busquets, Iniesta, and Isco, began to show their trademark passing rhythm. They tried to slow the game, to make Portugal chase shadows, to rob Ronaldo of momentum. And for a few minutes, it worked. Spain equalized with a moment of brilliance, and the crowd roared back to life. For them, this was normal. Spain always bounced back, but Ronaldo saw it differently. For him, this wasn't just a match. This was his battlefield. This was where he would show the world, and especially Spain, who he really was. Late in the first half, a moment unfolded that felt almost unreal. Ronaldo received the ball near the halfway line with 2 defenders closing in. Instead of turning back, he flicked the ball forward, sprinted between them, and outran both like they were standing still. Spanish fans had seen him do this countless times for Real Madrid, but it hits differently when it's your own national team being dismantled. He drove into the box, faked a shot that sent Piqué sliding in the wrong direction, and chipped the ball delicately over De Gea. A finish so calm, so confident, so disrespectfully beautiful, it left the stadium in stunned silence. Commentators didn't speak. They whispered. The camera panned to Spanish fans with hands on their heads, unable to believe what they were witnessing. Even some Spain supporters clapped, a sign of reluctant respect, the kind only a truly legendary moment can force out of a rival crowd. Yet Ronaldo was not finished. Spain equalized again, proving why they are one of the most tactically gifted teams in football history. The match was now 2-2, and tension filled the air. Players argued, tempers rose. The referee shouted warnings as challenges became more desperate. Every Spanish attack felt like a threat, every Portuguese counter like a spark waiting to ignite. If ever there was a match destined for a dramatic ending, it was this one. When Portugal won a free kick in the final minutes, the stadium fell into a tense hush. Spanish fans had seen this script before. They knew what a Ronaldo free kick could produce. But surely not here, not again, not now. The distance was long, the wall was set. De Gea positioned himself carefully, studying Ronaldo's stance. Ronaldo stood over the ball, feet planted, chest rising, eyes fixed on the top corner as if he could already see the future. He took 3 steps back. The entire stadium held its breath. Millions around the world paused their conversations. Commentators didn't dare interrupt. Then came the strike. The ball curved around the wall with impossible precision, dipping just at the right moment, spinning violently as it bent away from De Gea's fingertips. It hit the back of the net with a thundering snap that echoed like a firework across the stadium. Ronaldo turned, slid on his knees, muscles flexed, face roaring in pure emotion. Portuguese fans erupted. Spanish fans, stunned into silence, could only stare. This was not just a free kick. It was a masterpiece. It was the kind of goal that ends arguments. The kind that becomes a symbol. The kind that even rivals remember forever. Spain's players stood frozen. Ramos looked at the ground, hands on his hips. Piqué ran a hand through his hair in disbelief. Iniesta, the calmest man in football, simply nodded slowly, because he knew he had just witnessed greatness. As the final whistle blew, Ronaldo walked off the pitch not as a villain, not as the hated rival Spain had booed for over a decade, but as a legend who had just forced an entire nation to respect him. Spanish fans applauded, not all, but enough to show what he had achieved. That night, no rivalries mattered. No club histories. No old grudges. Only football. For years, fans in Spain would talk about this match. They would tell their children where they were sitting when Ronaldo scored that free kick. They would argue about whether the first goal or the chip was more beautiful. They would replay the highlights again and again, shaking their heads in disbelief each time. Even fans who had spent years shouting against Ronaldo would admit, because they had no choice, that they had watched something historic. It's rare in football for a single player to dominate a match so completely that it feels like he's controlling the tempo of the entire stadium. It's even rarer for that performance to happen against one of the strongest national teams in the world. But Ronaldo has always lived for moments like these. Moments that define careers. Moments that immortalize players. Moments that turn doubters into believers. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this night became another chapter in his myth. A night where he showed that greatness is not defined by age, by critics, or by past rivalries, but by the ability to rise when the moment demands it. A night where he turned silence into applause, hostility into admiration, and doubt into awe. For Spanish fans, it became the night they would never forget. The night Cristiano Ronaldo made the impossible look easy, the night he delivered a performance so brilliant that even a nation of rivals had no choice but to respect him. A night where football reminded everyone why it is the world's most beautiful game. Long after the match ended, long after the stadium cleared, one truth remained untouched. Some players are good, some players are great, but only a few deliver moments that become immortal. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of those few. And that night, etched forever in the memories of Spanish fans, proved exactly why.